Hello and thank you from Zeus McDoon. My wife and I truly appreciate your business. And what we're doing today is we're going to give you an introductory on how to access your website and make some minor changes. So the first thing you're going to want to do is type your website in with a /wp-login.php, and that'll bring up this window right here. You insert the username and password that I've given you, and that will take you right to the backside of your website. Now here's some helpful information. Most of the things over here you don't really have access to, but in some future videos we will go over what you do have access to. The most important thing on this page is the visit site. So when you click that, it takes you to your site, and you'll see it's very similar to what your customers see with the addition of this black bar up here and these buttons up here. You got a WordPress button. You got a donut land button in this case, which will take you back to the dashboard that we started at. There you can see it. All right. And then you've got the comments and adding some pages, the edit page and edit with Elementor. Now best practices is to just use this one and use this one. The edit page will make some modifications and can change the functionality of your page. If you want to add some new pages, you can utilize this here, but do realize that they may not look exactly the same because we have not set them up beforehand. There is quite a bit to making a page actually work within your website. Okay, so here you have your home page, sample page, and about page. Some of you may have more, some of you may have less. But when you want to make a change to the page, you have to be on the page that you want to change. So in our example, we're going to go to the About page, and then we will hit Edit with Elementor, and that will take us into the page to make modifications. Now, some of you may see some things beneath that. Best practice, just use the main button here. Now on some of yours, you'll have a custom-made header and footer. Now you can see on this one doesn't really have one. And up here it doesn't really have a custom header, but best practices is to not change the header or the footer. If there is a change you'd like made to those, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to make those changes for you, but changing either one of those can change the functionality of your page, and that's the main thing. We want the page to reflect you, but we also want it to work properly, so certain changes can change how the page functions. Adding or deleting a header or a footer or the items within it like Facebook follow me or Twitter feed or even the buttons can change how your page functions. Now, typically when you're making changes, you want to open your website in an incognito, and that is so that when you refresh it, it doesn't log you in. Because every time you make a change here, you're going to want to go over and take a look at it on the actual site. Now down here, it does give you the option to look at it in a mobile setting. Again, best practice is to have your phone open and take a look at it, because while this mobile does change how you see it, it doesn't typically actually represent how it will look on your phone. And do realize that any changes you make can affect that. That's why typically what we do is we set you up like on this one here. You'll see that it's set up more or less as a catalog page. And we also have a carousel in here and some more catalog definitions. And you'll see up here we've got a header. So the first thing we'll talk about is this blue tab here. Now you see when I click on this blue tab, it gives a solid blue line, and that is for this area I'm working. If I do the same thing down here, you'll see it extends all the way down to here. So what that's telling you is that you have now accessed this area here. And this is what you'll be making changes to if you change this. Best practices, don't change this. Most importantly, do not delete the section. If you delete it, it is gone. And we may have to go in and change it. Now, if you want to add something, you simply go to plus. This will allow you to download templates. This one is some pre-made templates. and this is the one you really want to be using, because those other two can again change how your page functions, and they may not function properly. Okay, so what you'll see here is it breaks this section, delineated by this dashed line here, into these sections. 1, 2, in this instance there's 4 of them. So let's go ahead and do it with this one here, these 3 sections. So you'll see I have 3 separate sections here. All right, if I go up here to the 9 squares, you'll see it brings up these elements. Excuse me. This intersection here this one, if you put it in someplace, it gives you 2 more sections. So it doesn't really change anything, it just breaks a section into 2 more sections. Now, if you don't want that or you want to get rid of it, you can push the X, but again, if you do that on something we've set up, it can change the functionality of your page and of course the overall look. Now you'll see when I grab something like say the header and I drag it over, you'll see these blue lines. These blue lines are showing me where that will be dropped, right there. Okay, and you see that it says add text and it's in the default primary color. So let's put sale today, how about? You can put anything you want in there. Now as these numbers get larger, the words get smaller. As the numbers, as the numbers get smaller, the words get larger. You got a right, a left, a center, just like in pretty much any Word program. So content and style tabs are going to be your favorites. You're not really going to want to use the advanced. Again, it can change the functionality of your page. Now we've preset some global colors and some global typography. Now, if you want more added or you don't like those ones, let us know. You do not have to use them, but what they do is they add a consistency throughout your website so that all the writing, all the colors, they all look the same. So you just simply click the globe and then pick a color. And if you don't like that color, if you want your page to look different, you can go here, you can change the opacity of it, make it see-through all the way to solid. You can change the color simply by clicking on it or sliding it. All right. And if you don't like that, this is one of the few instances where you can just hit the return button and it takes you right back. In this instance, let's use green. Typography is the same. You'll see there's several loaded here. So whichever one you click on, it will go right into that. Again, you can also go into here and pick a different one if you like. And this right here will change the size of the words. This will change the weight. This will change the letter spacing, line height. And as long as you don't hit update, it will not save any of your changes. Now, one of the funner features here is the text shadow. And you see I got a little blurry function here. I'm going to pick a color that's opposite of what I'm using. And I got all the way to blurry to sharp. And you can't really see it until we take it down to pretty sharp. We can use a little arrow here. And then the horizontal, you'll see that it basically gives you a shadow. You can move it up and down, back and forth. And again, now you can really see how the blurry goes completely blurry, but it does kind of highlight the letters to sharp like a shadow. To an afternoon sun, you can always use the arrows. Okay, and you can also change the opacity of it by making it sharper or more translucent, changing the color. That's one I definitely suggest, especially if you're posting something that's a sale item or a new item and you really want to attract attention. That's one of the things I suggest that you definitely utilize. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go back up here into the 9 dots. So the things you're most likely going to use, at least in this tutorial, is the intersection, heading, text editor, and image. Now really these 3 right here are going to be the ones you mostly use. Now most of you will find that this is already set up for you and ready to go. All you got to do is pick your pictures, type in your descriptions, what have you, and you can change this a little bit. And you see how it changes the size of those pictures? Okay, now if I want to change the picture, we just click on it. everything on here can basically be changed by just clicking on it. All right. So we go in here and we go to choose image. You go over here to upload file, select file, go to wherever it is you keep the pictures that you want to load, open, so on and so forth. I think most of us know how to utilize that. But I already have some pictures here, so let's go ahead and use this picture of donuts here and then insert media. And see, there it is right there. And really you want to leave it on this large setting because you can adjust it by going into style. Now you can use the width or the height, but really best practice is to use max width and height. Max width because it changes the width and the height at the same time. Again, we can change the opacity from clear to solid. You do not want to utilize CSS filters. That is cascading style sheet filters. It definitely will change the way your website functions. But down here is borders. You might want to use that. Let's go with the solid one. And let's pick, for the solid one, let's pick a color of purple. And then what you can do here is you can make it really wide. You can make it really narrow. Okay, just so we can see what we're doing here. Make it dashed. How about a groove? There you go. Okay, and then the other one is this border radius. You see it curves it in, and it can take it all the way to a circle, an elongated rectangle, so on and so forth, just to kind of make the pictures show up, different, make each one a little bit different. Okay, then we want to change the description down here. So this is just some space saver to let you know there's something in there, because otherwise you wouldn't know. If you're over here, there's no line, anything, but you'll see I get that pencil. I just click on that, and okay, now if I want to change it, I just go into style, and again I can make it right or center or left. Go into global colors, we'll make it purple just for the heck of it. We'll go down here, let's change it to the secondary style, and then let's go in here and let's make it a little bit bigger so we can actually read it. There we go, let's put it in the center. Okay. Now you see, it's just as simple as that. Now if you find that you have all these filled up and you need more, you just go up here and click on this with a right click, and you see the duplicate, and it'll make a duplicate of exactly what you've made down below. So if you have a lot of items that are very similar, you just maybe need to change the picture or slight description, you can utilize this to make a duplicate and go in and change it. Now some of you may have this carousel set up. Now it's the same process with the carousel. Just click on it and you'll see it'll bring up these pictures. Now if I click on these, it'll take me into the carousel, and we can go add gallery, and it will allow us to add more images. I've pretty much used all the images that are in here, so I'll just say add gallery. As you see, I just added that again. Okay, and if I take one away, you see it just takes it out, and then we insert it into the gallery, and there you go, it's in the gallery. Now, the size doesn't really matter too much. Slideshow, this just tells you how many are displayed. You can have a whole bunch. You get some arrows over here. Okay, got a few other things, and we're actually going to go over that in another tutorial. But I just wanted to show the few of you that might have this already set up. It's pretty easy to change the pictures and then change how many are displayed. You might want space between them, so on and so forth. All right, go up in here to style, and once again we can change the arrows. See the arrows right here? We can change how big they are. We can make them on the outside or the inside. Can change the color of them as well. The dots down here, which allow you to pick a specific picture, you can get rid of those. You can make them bigger, make them smaller. You can change the color of them, and you can add some borders and add some double lines to it. Okay, and then when you've made all the changes you want to make, you hit update. Then you go to the hamburger here, go to view page. And there you see it. Now you definitely want to check this on your phone, and you want to check it, like I said, on that incognito. Now, say you don't like the way it looks on the phone, or you don't like the way it looks when you go in and check it on the actual page, or what have you, or you made a mistake. Happens to the best of us. Go up into edit, go right back in. Now, if you are making changes to it, let's say you add some text here, and you added some text here, and then you didn't like it. Of course, you can always right click on the pencil and delete it. But let's say we made two sections that are the same, and we didn't really want to do that. As long as you're not deleting something we've set up, you can go ahead and hit that X button, and that will take it away. But again, if it's something we've set up, it can change the functionality. So let us know if there's something you want changed. Now, like I said, best practices is to always hit update after you make a change. That saves it. But if you've gone in and you've made some changes, and then you're looking at it and you're like, I really just don't like the way that looks. I'm really just not happy with the way I put those pictures in there, what have you. Well, there isn't really a back button, but the great thing is if you don't hit update and you do hit the hamburger and you go to view page, it's going to remind you that you didn't save those updates. When you click out, it's not going to have those changes. Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking time and for giving us your business. Now remember, we build the website, but it's a reflection of you. So if you see something you don't like, this background color, you need it changed. You don't like the typography or the colors. You don't like the layout. Please let us know. It needs to reflect your business. So let us know. We'll be happy to make those changes. We look forward to many years of doing business with you, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thank you so much from Magdalena and myself here at Zeus McDoon. Have a wonderful day.